It's important to listen to everything as a musician.
I think it is. I really do think it is. It's have a very wide palette. I think just same thing with the business and booking too, is just having a wide palette of music to showcase and bring through, instead of relying on that same jam crowd come through every single Friday night. That just you can't rely on that.
Bad model.
You can't be picky if you're a venue owner. You gotta be open.
You can though, and there's some venues that do run it like that, and props to them, and to anyone that has a defined style, philosophy, vibe, or whatever you're trying to go for, and that's definitely that's one way, one model to do it. And some cities you have to do that because there's so much other shit going on.
Exactly.
You have to dial it in.
That is true.
If you're working in bigger markets, I would imagine it's much easier to have that kind of philosophy because the market is so big.
Yeah, everybody has a band. Everybody's playing there. It's it's like overload.
Whereas Jacksonville has a great scene, but population-wise, as far as the metropolitan cities go, it's a small market.
It is. It's definitely a mid-level market. It's definitely not your top tier, not even your second tier. It's you're not bottom of the bill, but you're you're a C market, in which you can't, you have to kind of cater, and like I said, to cater to what what's available, what people want to go to, and say goth, 6 nights a week.
Goth industrial night.
Goth industrial, yeah, exactly. 6 nights a week.
I'm in.
I don't know, all the face masks. There's a shortage now. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Right,
I don't know. But you just can't, but a goth night once a month's fucking awesome, because same thing with our emo night.
Yeah, emo night. I was about to say,
great.
I hate that music.
I totally appreciate that, dude. That's.
So this is actually a good segue, because what kind of got you started? What made you want to get involved in running a music venue, owning a music venue?
It originally actually started out as a side hustle.
Oh, really?
Dropping them all day, dude?
I got them all day, y'all.
We got a drum set set up over here. We'll give you a rim shot.
No, so it started out as just something that we kind of saw, myself, 2 other friends. We all had day jobs, and we're all musicians, and in the obviously the music scene in some way or another, or in the bar scene, and particularly for downtown Jacksonville, Springfield as well. Actually, we were looking to open originally in Springfield, where the current 6th and Main Brewing is at. That was actually going to be that was going to be the original 1904. We were actually talking to them about that, started negotiating the lease, and then we stumbled on this place downtown, thankfully. But yeah, so we just wanted to open up a spot, and we all had 10 grand. That was the hey, we all chip in 10 grand, and it was DIY from the start. Half the gear was broken gear from Greenhouse Lounge that wasn't getting used. A lot of stuff we obviously upcycled a lot of the furniture, and when we opened, we had literally 3 beers. It was bare bones, but you
did all the construction work.
We did a lot of.
I remember watching all the posters that you put on Facebook.
Yeah, did a lot of it DIY, man. And our landlord was cool, with us, it's hey, as long as you guys pay rent, I don't care what you do in here, just pay my rent on time. We're all right, cool. So we just took some, about 3 months to just gut everything, rip it out, and we were doing it on our, nights off. We would get off work 5 o'clock and go there, put a few hours, and demo and stuff, or paint something. And then we would actually, the worst part was, so that the hydroponic store we had across the bridge there over off the beach, we ended up, because we didn't want to put a big roll-off dumpster out front to draw a lot of attention to the work we were doing. So we would literally fill up about 5 to 10 trash cans every night and drive them across the bridge to the hydroponic store, to the dumpster over there, and dump all the construction debris in there, just to keep it low key, so that there wasn't a big construction.
That's some paranoia right there. For sure.
I
understand it, though. People break in and steal your tools and everything like that.
Oh no, or obviously the city shows up and you don't have license. What did I say about failing into success?
Not regulated?
Well, say it is now. It is now. After the fact,
you gotta break a couple rules.
You got to do
this
some.
This isn't a gotcha podcast.
Hey,
yeah, right.
But so that's essentially what 1904 started out as, just kind of a DIY space. we were kind of like, we needed another, venue. Freebird was, obviously getting very much booked up, and there really wasn't a lot of other cool spaces in town to, see shows. And again, with like the network we kind of developed over the last, the previous years of, the festivals and the tours and, support acts and just the relationships you build. And I was like, hey, we now have all these, bands that we know, other promoters in other cities. Let's, try to connect all the dots. And it's kind of just how we started.
You see it, man. It's grown.
Yeah, it has grown
so
a lot.
I remember y'all opened up when Freebird was still around.
Yep.
And I didn't ever feel like it was like you guys were competing with each other, because this city is so big.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're 30 miles away from it. Either
30 miles away.
You go to the beach, or you're gonna go downtown, but there was nothing downtown before y'all.
Yeah, it was pretty desolate. I mean,
you got Jackrabbits and San Marco and everything
Yeah.
like that, but like literally, like you're in the heart, right off of Main Street Bridge.
right there. Yeah, right in the heart.
It's been amazing. I love playing there. Every single time I go there, I'm like, I wish I had counted how many times I played it.
I mean, that's like the whole idea too of like, is it like the venue, I think, and behind it is like, it's a musician's venue.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a musician, and like everybody else, when we started, a lot of people that work there are all musicians, or, and like, for me, like having like a monitor that's broken, that's like unacceptable. Like, the little shit like that, like, like I would just think about like, the times or venues I would play at that are like doing it right or that are doing it wrong, and like, hey, we got to do it right. And then that's just, it just kind of like, people remember that, definitely it lasts, it carries through time. I think, you keep it consistent like that.
And it's never stopped growing either. Like we
opened Spliffs in 2015, the restaurant.
Yeah.
It just moved Spliffs
and then
5 days ago.
Yeah.
Moved it.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And remodeled the patio. I remember going to the patio and it was just mulch.
Yeah, the patio was.
And there was no stage or no awning.
There was nothing.
I played that for New Year's. I think like the first year.
That's right. We put a little box. We built like a wooden box. And
That's awesome.
It was
that's what we played on.
Not much of a stage.
No, it was great. And Splish wasn't there either.
I'll never forget like the first couple like month or two we were open. It was like an art walk or something. And, like art walks downtown like were like a big thing. And so like we were kind of like part of it. Like it was like we were like a new venue, and like there was like some like like people that were there very finely dressed. Like out for art walk and like checking out this new, this new nightclub that opened up, and like we were sitting there telling her about it, and then Dwayne, my partner, was telling the woman like, hey, we have a great outdoor space out in the back patio, blah blah blah. This is before we did like anything. This is like it was literally like it was like dirt,
it was
trash. This is where people parked. There was like I'm sure some needles.
There was
no fence. It was disgusting, and that's obviously too like the back door, the back sketch area. Everybody just all the hippies would go back there and smoke pot. So like the girl's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go check out this outdoor. I think he called it an outdoor courtyard is like what he called it. And like she opens it up. There's no lighting. There's no lights at all. I think we had like 2 tiki torches.
Oh
to
my
light
God.
like this all like so there's no lighting. And like she like walks around, I guess, out there for a minute, and she comes back out there. She comes back in, and Dwayne's like, just like there. It's like, hey, so what'd you think of our courtyard space? Well, she's like, that is a rape alley. like I just looked at her. I was like, what? She's like, I walk back there. There's just a bunch of people standing around smoking pot, and there was a girl squatting, taking a piss in the corner.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave. we're like, oh, I guess that's not really a outdoor courtyard per se. But that changed, I
was gonna say like because I remember playing there like right when it opened and everything like that, and just watching it grow and change and everything like that. You weren't there from the beginning,
No.
Anton, but like it was. I'm not saying it was bad at the beginning, because it was still awesome, and I was just like, yes, fucking a venue, like a new venue, and it's like an awesome venue, and like, no offense, like a young musician is fucking starting a venue. That's awesome. And so they were gonna have amazing shows, and that's what happened. And they had it just kept on growing and growing and growing.
Yeah,
It's
we started
awesome.
out with like just like a shitty sound system, and then like every couple months we would just reinvest, and that's part of the reason I still drive a 2003 Toyota Tacoma.
Fucking love it, man.
putting
I was
all
wondering,
my-
like,
I keep-
is that Is that Jason
Yeah,
driving that?
I keep putting all my money back into my fucking business.
Hey, a Toyota
It
pickup
don't
isn't
die.
bad.
It doesn't die.
No,
But you know
it's a
but
Toyota. It won't ever
but
die.
that's like one of the things we just consistently have done is like reinvest, regrow. And like I mean, thankfully now, like obviously it's a pandemic and everything, but the fact that we've reinvested in the business and not pulled everything we could out of it, put it just strip it essentially, like it's gonna allow us to maintain through hopefully through next year.